the true intent of Bwiti is to link the earth's inhabitants to its common ancestral communion. To be Bwiti is to be missionary in the true sense. The deliveries of Bwiti that are prevalent further to our conversations do not have this in mind. They are driven by agenda, and the agenda clearly outlines that the spirituality is not understood. Let's look at this. If you have an agenda, it means you haven't known that you are the one thing, which is the spirituality. You are already those things. To be driven by the agenda to accumulate knowledge or wealth, power, through these agencies that are offering Iboga retreats, is not to bring communion with the world of the infinitely large to the world of the infinitely small, the spirit and the living worlds. There is no higher purpose than the seeking of the spirituality. And this is the importance above and beyond everything within Bwiti. The importance of delivering the message unadulterated from the source, first and foremost, through trial, before anyone has any right to offer anything to do with Bwiti and its partnering, inseparable partnering, with God's flesh, Iboga. Its capacities and abilities to merge the two worlds within an individual exists in its unadulterated delivery. To be the missionary, to walk Bwiti, is to ensure every man, woman and child of the earth finds their communion. If you look closely, it does not matter what situation you find yourself in, whether it's an addiction or whether it's a small psychological dilemma that occurs at lunchtime every day. The same thing is occurring. There's conflict, which is illusory. There's a lack of understanding that you are actually already convening with the two worlds and that you are inseparable from what you observe. These messages are delivered through the Bwiti spiritualism. Everyone, in other words, is seeking the one event, which is to find God. You're kicking and screaming when you don't get the table you want in a restaurant is because you wanted God. Think about it. This is beyond me, and it's beyond Ikara, and it's beyond His Majesty, and it's beyond Mboka Azambe, and it's beyond Bibongo and Debois. It's beyond Bois Sacré. It's beyond all of these things. The delivery of the true Bwiti spiritualism begins. It began in my first discussion, and this is a follow-up. There is a way to introduce the spiritualism through the material frame sanely. The point of this is some people can walk into spiritualism and work within a faux spiritualism, let's say, for 25 years, not seeing the underside of the double-edged sword, never assuming what it is. It takes great concentration and attentiveness and one's discipline to walk in the path of God within the spiritualism which is whole, unbroken. All forms of Bwiti today are not Bwiti offered to you in the West. They're deviant. They've never been accepted by any of the higher levels of the roots coming from Dasumba and into Miobe and the other branches of Bwiti. Just like there's fundamental Christianity and Pentecostal Christianity and other forms of Christianity spawned from the original sources. It's the same situation within Bwiti. So for you just to say Bwiti doesn't mean Bwiti, you must find where the true spiritualism comes from. The importance of this is because it will ensure that you find the God in you. Because no amount of Iboga ingested through these other deviant forms, through all of these other people who are loaded with material agenda and are nowhere near, they're more infantile in their spiritualism. They're actually Bwidiots. They're idiots. That's right, it's harsh, but they don't have any right to talk any of this. Someone who's prepared can initially and instantaneously and simultaneously assume complete understanding of the spiritualism in a fraction of a second. And that needs to be thought about. It doesn't matter what they say they've initiated into. It doesn't matter if they're constantly talking about this, it shows a lot about the lack of ability, their bereftness. Ikara in Boka Azambe are here to educate and bridge to the West. We are materially settled. We don't have an agenda. It is to ensure that others see that there isn't one needed, that they're already everything. And the true spiritual dynamic that's delivered through true Bwete is that. The unification of the worlds. To see that you live beyond here. There's no higher importance. Every other type of thing is a distraction. You can ingest Iboga, as I said, until the cows come home. It will not work. You need to know that you are the Iboga. You need to know your mind in all facets of your life. How you eat, how you think, how you prepare in the morning before work. How you are before bed. How you are when your coffee doesn't come out hot. How you are when your dinner isn't on time. How you are in traffic. How you are under stress. In all facets of life, you must understand your psychology, and Iboga is there to educate one, but one must experience it in the true frame. And the way it's being delivered in the West today is completely and utterly nothing to do with Bwiti. And I want people to know this. This is nothing other than an essential delivery from my heart as a missionary and a representative of this community to ensure that everyone gets this God within themselves. You're coming to pay someone for education, to be free, to go somewhere that's giving you deviant forms of Bwiti and the delivery of a Iboga from a dirty hand and a dirty mind, loaded with agendas, and not living a Bwiti lifestyle, and not even understanding the spiritualism, and following branches like Senengidia and Gonden de Puma, Gonden de Basuka. These guys follow necromancy, black magic. This has nothing to do with the true teachings. It needs to be understood. And I certainly won't be stopping, because none of them are doing the correct thing. None of them. They don't know. You go to Africa and you do a rite of passage in Mwiri somewhere with some guy that's Senengidia, and you say, oh, I'm initiated as a boy. What does that mean? Does anyone even know what the processes of Mwiri are? They vary from place to place. There's only one true form anyway. I've been there. It's all rubbish. This delivery in wording is how you're going to know where to go. The people want you to be connected and learn the esoteric knowledge of the earth, the planet, according to the Sumber and Myobe, the creation of the world. All of this exists within you, and it's activated by the spiritualism, which is Bwiti, and the center of the earth, which is Gabon today, the spiritual heartland. And Boka Azambe, His Majesty Adamangana, have created their vision upon bringing people from around the world that are ready to see the truth so they can be aligned with the one true spirituality which contains all of us and allows all of us to see the God within all of us. This is how Iboga works, and Iboga was designed to connect you to this spiritualism. Henceforth, the inseparable process of Bwiti, true Bwiti, and Iboga. No one has heard it from this direction before in the West, because no one knows. And it's hard to find the correct teachings within Gabon. Someone says, well, how do you know? That's for me to answer. Exactly. Ask me. You might just find that you know. And I hope that everybody does.